Okay, pleasant good morning. That was just a song check. So pleasant good morning to each and everyone. Let me, at this moment, just welcome each and everyone to the opening of the 45th meeting of the Council of CROSQ, as well as our standardization workshop. As we proceed in this event, I now ask you to be reverent as we ask God's blessing upon this proceeding. Gracious and loving God, we give thanks this morning for this opportunity where you have spared our life and you have provided the amenities so as to sustain our lives. We give thanks to your Son Jesus for the blessings of intellect, the blessing of opportunity, and the blessing of life. And at this moment, we now invite you to come into our midst and guide us in our discussions as we are about to discuss issues of standards and quality. Even though we're from different islands, different territories, help us that we may be concerted in harmonizing our ideas and coming to decisions that may be useful to enhance the quality of the life of our people. Be with us during this session and those ahead as we give thanks for a safe and productive event. To your precious name, amen and amen. Invite you now to please stand for the national anthem of St. Vincent and Grenadines that will be played on the pan. Thank you. Thank you very much. Kindly be seated. Honorable Subotu Caesar, Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, Fishery, Rural Transformation, Industry, Labor, and also Minister with Portfolio Responsibility for the Bureau of Standards. Our Permanent Secretary, Mrs. Narissa Gittens. Also, I note also Permanent Secretary, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, P.S. Sandy. Mr. Vaughan Emmanuel, Chairman of the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standard and Quality Council, and also Director of the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards. Mr. Hayden Ryan, who is the Officer in charge of the CROSQ. Other officials of the government of St. Vincent and Grenadines, including our very dear Chief Agriculture Officer, Mr. Gums. Mr. Sebastian Vogel, Project Manager, RTD Collaboration, Policy and External Affairs, the European Community for Standardization, CEN, and the European Committee for Electrotechnical Standardization, CINELECT. Mr. Ulton Mulligan, CSO, Standardization Services, European Telecommunication Standards Institute, ETSI. Of course, Dr. Sabin Greiner, Project Coordinator, German National Metrology Institute, the PTB. Mr. Sheldon Jackman, Project Officer, Delegation of the European Union to Barbados, the Eastern Caribbean, the OECS, and CARIFORUM. Members, and of course, fellow directors of the national standard bodies within CARICOM, those who are present with us, and of course those who are joining us online. Marshall Denny, Project Coordinator for Research, Mobilization and Program Development at CROSQ. Other staff and technical officers of CROSQ, both past and present. Staff of the St. Vincent and Grenadines Bureau of Standards. Our international and regional stakeholders and partners. Of course, our distinguished guests and invitees, our online participants, of course, the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And that could have been my welcome speech, right? As we proceed in today's activity, there'll be one change to the program. as you all know, that St. Vincent and Grenadines is really buzzing with activities. Of course, we are hosting presently the Caribbean Week of Agriculture in St. Vincent and Grenadines. And our minister, who is also the Minister of Agriculture, he's really quite busy. And we're going to afford him the opportunity to present his speech so that he can obviously return to his other engagement. I know that he's engaged, but our minister is very energetic. And if you can see that, I always try to pattern some of my action after him because, if you're not active, then you'll be real rude. So at this moment, I want us to join in welcoming Honorable Minister Caesar, to give us his keynote address.
Thank you very much, Executive Director Ledger. Wish to recognize the presence this morning of the Permanent Secretary, the Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry, and Labor, the Chief Agriculture Officer, Ministry of Agriculture, and I saw earlier the Senior Accounting Officer in the ministry, the heads of department who are here, and I want us to give the entire CROSQ family a special round of applause. I'm going to leave it at that. The CROSQ family. I want to also recognize the presence of the CEO of the Cannabis Authority of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Gerald Thompson. The media, a blessed morning. When I was a child, Executive Director, I spoke as a child. And now I am a man, I have put away childish things. At one time in our history, we could export goods and services around the world without following strict standards. But that is something not only of the past, but now of the distant past. And I'm really happy that today we can celebrate the 45th meeting of the CROSQ Council. And over the next few hours, we will be discussing some very important issues that will touch and concern not only the development of the private sector, but also will be able to create opportunities and possibilities for greater relationships between the public sector and the private sector. I want to begin by commending the Bureau of Standards in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the excellent work that you continue to do here in country, and particularly Mr. Ledger and your staff for the region and also the participation in activities globally. Thank you very much for your work. I had the opportunity to be raised in a rural community when we had the peak of the banana industry. And I can remember in 1996, we had to move from conventional production of bananas, and we had to take it to the fair trade standards. Then we had to be Europe GAP compliant, then Global GAP compliant, because as producers, and I must note this for the producers because sometimes the producers are of the view that Mr. Ledger is a police officer outside of uniform. But when something shows up on your dinner table, and when you are in the breakfast line and you're going for vegetables, you must consume it with confidence. And I do not want for anyone at any time to think that the member states of CARICOM, that we do not wish to adhere to international rules and regulations. Over the last decade, we have developed here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines a modern medicinal wellness industry. And an offshoot of that is the cannabis industry. And I'm really happy and heartened that, and I see members of the board here, the chief agriculture officer is here, the CEO of the Cannabis Authority is here, and at the head table, there's a brother who is championing in St. Lucia to ensure that the standards are met. Give him a round of applause here. Hope he's working very hard, and expect to see you at Cannabis next month. He's on a high. You said it, not me. But I want to say to us, dressed in our jackets and ties and our suits, that there are men and women on the hillsides who are farming as we speak. There are fishermen on the Caribbean Sea, near shore or islands, who are looking to us because we hold standards. We owe a duty of care to them. If we do not do our work to get the information to them, if we do not create in the member states of CARICOM a platform so that they can access these standards, they will not be able to enter major markets. We have seen a significant shift in the exportation of goods to Europe, and we are witnessing more an intra-regional trade within the OECS, within CARICOM, and intra-hemispheric to North America. But it is our quest to increase our trade to Europe. And I'm saying this because I would like for the Bureau of Standards in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and throughout the region to pay particular attention to market access. And I notice it's the 11th to 11:15, just before lunch. It's the best time you place it, just before lunch. The European standards and market access. This is something I would like to see the information channeled through the different producer groups in the country. Yesterday at the Caribbean Week of Agriculture, we were able to meet with different stakeholders, and throughout the discussions, we discussed standards. CROSQ will be pleased to know that in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have a total ban on aerial spraying. You cannot do aerial spraying in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we have a total ban on the importation and usage of glyphosate in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So there's no Roundup here, and there's no touchdown here. And we are working, and I would be having a conversation with the pesticides board very soon to see how we can add more of these chemicals to the list. Of course, it's going to have an impact on the cost of production, but I am aware that within your marketing regime in Europe and in North America, that goods which are produced in this pristine environment also can fetch a higher price. I want to close by saying we are all links in a chain, and we have to continue the conversation of working together and dovetailing our efforts. St. Vincent and the Grenadines alone, we will not be able to produce enough dasheen, enough ginger, enough bananas to have market access in any sustainable way on a European market. Therefore, I am extremely proud and happy that at the table today, we do not only have St. Vincent and the Grenadines, but we have the other member states of CARICOM, because there is a need for a unity of purpose as it pertains to production and productivity. I want to again thank Mr. Leisure and thank the Permanent Secretary in the ministry and the rest of the staff for making this event possible. Thank you very much, and
Recording in
enjoy
progress.
the rest. Good morning. Enjoy the rest of the day's event. Thank you very much. Thanks.
As usual, thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for your kind words, your greetings, and of course, we also acknowledge your continued commitment towards the quality infrastructure in St. Vincent and Grenadines and, of course, across the region. So, for lunch? Thank you, Minister. So we'll just pause for the Minister to make his exit. Thank you very much, Minister. All right, so we are back on the normal track. So again, let me bring some formal welcome. I know that indeed I can remember in 2009 was the last time that we held a CROSQ activity in St. Vincent and Grenadines. So he has been really long in planning. But nonetheless, on behalf of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Bureau of Standards, I welcome all to this, the 45th meeting of the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standard and Quality CROSQ and to the InDico-Global European Standardization System Workshop. The SVGBS is indeed honored to host the region's top national quality infrastructure executives, as well as our international partners in hosting this quality event. I wish to convey a very warm Vincentian welcome to all of our delegates, especially those of you who are visiting our blessed land for the very first time. Naturally, SVG is a place of natural beauty. It is the Caribbean that you're looking for. So I hope that even though we are very busy throughout this week, that we'll find some time to enjoy the beauty and joy that St. Vincent and Grenadines has to offer. Of course, just a pause for the PS. I know that there's some activities going on. There's also a national exhibition in the city, agriculture exhibition. So those of you who are, might want to pick up some souvenirs, some fruits, some confectionery, etc. It's in the city, just about 5 minutes away. So at the end of these sessions, of course, you're invited to visit those exhibitions. Okay, you have to pay me for that ad. And of course, we're indeed grateful that our very busy local stakeholders can take time out to participate in these events, and we hope and trust that they'll be meaningful in enhancing our quality infrastructure. This week's engagement is evidence of our collective efforts to harmonize the regional quality infrastructure and at the same time facilitate harmonization with the rest of the world as it relates to standardization, metrology, and conformity assessment. As such, the CROSQ, as the regional coordinator for the RQI, must continue to play its part concertedly to assist in trade facilitation, promotion of health and safety, safeguarding the environment, as well as improving the quality of life for all of our people. Like CROSQ, the regional national standard bodies, including the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Bureau of Standards, our collective aim is to support international competitiveness for the enhancement of social and economic development of the region, which by virtue is reflected in CROSQ's mission of working together to facilitate the growth, resilience, and sustainable development of CARICOM through advancement of an internationally recognized regional quality infrastructure. As I stated before, as a result of technological innovations, globalization, and free trade, standardization and conformity assessment have become important components of the world trade, as well as for improving the quality of life for all people. Therefore, as participants in this activity, whether as businesses, business support organizations, national standard bodies, or regulators, I am sure that the knowledge gained here today and in the next few days will assist greatly in ensuring that our respective entities and countries understand and comply with our various international, regional, and international obligations, and, of course, to become more effective as it relates to standards and quality issues, and in particular, in fulfilling the UN SDGs, which will assist our small island developing states to combat climate change and other environmental concerns. Once again, The SVGBS is pleased to share with our regional colleagues in these enterprises and remain committed to championing the regional quality infrastructure. Finally, it is opportune that the leaders of the national standard bodies in our region are meeting at this time. As you are aware, October 14 each year is celebrated as World Standards Day to pay tribute to all workers in the vineyard of standards and quality. So, let me in advance wish us all a very happy and quality World Standard Day 2024. And let's keep the fire of standards and quality burning. It is my pleasure to once again, on behalf of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Bureau of Standards, express our cordial welcome to all and thank you for your participation in this signal event. And I wish us all a very successful workshop and CROSQ meetings and look forward to our sustained involvement in the journey of quality as we work together to create and maintain an environment of international standard in our region. Thank you and God bless you. So that was my short welcome, Mr. Ryan. You know, in standards, sometimes we have to extrapolate a few times, especially quality. So at this moment, we proceed along with our agenda. And to share with us some brief remarks will be the officer in charge of the CROSQ, which is no other than Mr. Hayden Ryan. Let's all welcome Mr. Ryan as he gives us some remarks.
Thank you, Director Ledger. And if you would permit me to recognize that the protocols, as extensive as they were, have already been established. But I do want to make mention of the Minister, the Honorable Soboto Caesar, Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry, and Labor. And I'm reflecting on his remarks, which were very well said. He touched on quite a few quality infrastructure developments in St. Vincent. I do also want to recognize our chairman, Mr. Vern Emmanuel, who is the chair of the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality, Vern. And also our fantastic Master of Ceremonies, Mr. Ezra Ledger, who needs no introduction at this stage. And I will coin a phrase from the minister to just say, and the extended CROSQ family. I love that. Because indeed, in the room, we are a family of quality. So good morning and welcome again to the 45th meeting of the CROSQ Council and the InDico-Global European Standardization System Workshop. So I'm incredibly grateful to each of you, whether you're attending in person or virtually, because you took the time to be here, despite of your demanding schedules. So we have an exciting agenda for the next 3 days, and I look forward to our productive discussions and the collaborative commitments that we will develop. So at the onset, I would like to acknowledge our partners and stakeholders, both long-standing and new, who have played a critical role in advancing the work of CROSQ. So our thanks will be extended to UNIDO, to the EU, IDBs in the room, CEN, CENELAC, ETSI, PTB, CARIFORUM, they're all mentioned in the protocols, to SEDIMA and to CDB, the National Standards Bureau, ministers, government officials, all of your unwavering support has really contributed significantly to the continuity of our mandate at CROSQ. So a special thanks once again to our host and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Bureau of Standards. Now, over the past 22 years, CROSQ has remained steadfast in its mission to support CARICOM businesses on their path to regional and international markets, as you heard the minister speak of. So despite the various challenges, we've seen notable achievements made possible through the dedication of our funders, our partners, our council members, the CROSQ Secretariat itself, and the National Standards Bureau. And this collaborative spirit really underscores the very essence of our network. So as we gather here today, we cannot ignore the unprecedented natural event unfolding even now in the Atlantic Ocean. You would have heard about Hurricane Milton, and this is the largest hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic. And this is happening today as we speak, and it's poised to hit Florida with, I am told, up to 15 feet storm surges as we speak. So our thoughts are with all of those in the storm's path, and this moment is really poignant reminder of the urgency to build resilient infrastructures, the urgency to fortify our standards, and for disaster preparedness. So what we discussed today, especially in areas like construction, is critical to ensuring that our communities are ready to withstand such events. In the days ahead, we will review the significant progress made over the last 6 months, showcasing how regional collaboration strengthens our economies. And this isn't only for entrepreneurs looking to, expand into global markets, but it's also for the resilience and the protection of the growing CARICOM economy. 4 months ago, this region faced one of the most severe hurricanes in decades, Ezra, leaving massive destruction in its wake, particularly on Union Island, which we saw when we were coming across from the airport, and Carriacou, and the damage accounted for over, and I'm told, over $800 million in damages. And this is 90% of the homes affected in those territories. So many of us here today have faced similar devastation on our own shores. When SEDEMA called for support, CROSQ swiftly responded, and we partnered with them as part of the Physical and Environmental Planning Sector Subcommittee. And we developed what we call a CARICOM Regional Building Code of Practice. We will hear more about that in the deliberations. But the collaborative approach, and that's what I'm stressing, it's the collaboration that really helps to lead the launch of, webinars and training sessions and programs and events like today's event. And we really target the regional contractors, we're targeting builders, we're targeting artisans to really build more resilient homes and have resilience in your house stock. So while still its early stages, this initiative holds the potential to safeguard countless homes in the future. I will rest there because the agenda is packed, but I do invite you to really participate in the entire proceedings. In our ongoing efforts, we are pleased to see that we are making strides as a CARICOM region. And I wish to leave you with this thought, that quality is not just a responsibility, it is a tremendous opportunity. And it enables our businesses to innovate, it enables our businesses to grow, and to reach markets across the globe. So with the commitment of everyone here today, I'm confident that we can unlock the full potential of our entire region. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ryan. And I pause because, it is good to recognize continuity in standardization. My first encounter with standardization has been with Mr. Ryan, but not this young chap. There was a CARICOM Single Market Standard Council meeting way back in '99, and I was invited to participate, and I met all these, these elder gentlemen, and Mr. Ryan was one of my coach, and it was really, pleasing to see his son is really continuing this baton of quality. So congratulations and best wishes to you, Mr. Ryan. To share with us at this moment, a very dynamic, involved person who has many hats, but this morning I was want to speak about the CROSQ hat. I know he has many hats, he's been involved with many activities, in his native country. And of course, the task of chairing CROSQ, 15 member state directors with all of our own part, it's a challenge, but I know that Mr. Emmanuel is up to this challenge, so I now invite him to give us some remarks. Let's all welcome him.
Good morning, everyone. Protocol having been established, we do appreciate the remarks given by Honorable Saboto Caesar, Minister of Agriculture, Forestry, Fisheries, Rural Transformation, Industry and Labor on St. Vincent. We welcome all members of the government of St. Vincent and who are our host, members of the CROSQ family. It is indeed a distinct pleasure to address you this morning. Mr. Ledger has for a while now intimated that we need to come to St. Vincent, and that when we come to St. Vincent, we need to have a workshop. So I am very pleased today that we are able to do all what we envisaged in the context of this 45th meeting of the CROSQ Council. CROSQ stands at a pivotal moment in its history, which offers a unique opportunity for us to reflect on our past achievements, assess our current standing, and envision a promising future for the region. The member states of CROSQ and the staff of the Secretariat have worked tirelessly to ensure a smooth transition and that we are able to meet the expectations of our varied stakeholders. In recent years, CROSQ has made significant strides in addressing the region's critical challenges. We have played a critical role in strengthening the quality infrastructure at regional and national levels by promoting energy efficiency, enhancing regional standards, and supporting sustainable development. Our world is rapidly evolving, and we must adapt to stay relevant and responsive to the needs of the region. As we approach World Standards Day 2024 on October 14th, we highlight the role standards plays in fulfilling the UN Sustainable Development Goals as key missions which all member states are in various stages of fulfillment as part of the Agenda 2030. In our standardization work, these goals are at the forefront of our actions and form a roadmap of objectives which we aim to achieve. Notably, SDG 3, good health and well-being, the elimination of gases helps to create cleaner environments, less polluted air, and healthier citizens are no longer affected by harmful exhaust, carbon monoxide, and other respiratory ailments. As we also aim to deal with SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, to ensure access to affordable, reliable, sustainable, and modern energy for all. Part of that would have been the work done in the development of the CARICOM Energy Efficiency Building Code. SDG 9, industry, innovation, and infrastructure, to achieve the goals required in the development of resilient infrastructure that relies on secure digital solutions for monitoring and efficient management. The sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and production, climate change action, and as most importantly, part of what is demonstrated here today in SDG 17, the partnerships for the goals. The ICT industry is increasingly taking an ecosystem approach, partnering with a broad range of stakeholders to unlock the potential of digital solutions as drivers for sustainable development and in managing industry common and cross-industry challenges. We are all part of an ecosystem, and these small changes have a huge impact on our future. CROSQ is committed to being at the forefront of addressing the pressing issues that will shape our future: climate change, energy security, technological advancements are just a few of the many challenges that we must confront. By strengthening our partnerships and investing in renewable energy, coastal protection, and sustainable agriculture, we can develop innovative solutions that will not only meet the needs of our stakeholders, but also contribute to a more sustainable and resilient CARICOM. One such partnership is the current workshop today, is our collaboration with Senelec and ETSI. This workshop serves as a testament to our commitment to international cooperation and our desire to align our standards with global best practice. We have also seen the increase in the membership of CROSQ members at ISO, with the culmination in a member of CROSQ being part of ISO Council. I would like to extend sincere gratitude to the European Union for their unwavering support and generous funding, which has been instrumental in enabling the implementation of the 10th and 11th EDF. Their commitment to sustainable development in the Caribbean region is truly commendable. Additionally, we must acknowledge the valuable contributions of our partners, including UNIDO, BSI, CDB, the IDB, and CDMA. As I conclude my tenure as chair of CROSQ, I am proud and humbled that we have had the opportunity to serve this organization and foster deeper relationships with our international partners. Working along dedicated and talented individuals at recognized standards institutions has been a privilege. I am confident that under the leadership of our new CEO, the passing of the baton to the new chair, and the continued support of our stakeholders and partners, CROSQ will continue to thrive and contribute significantly to the development of our region. Our success will be measured by our ability to implement effective standards, promote innovation, and enhance the competitiveness of our industries, which will guide CARICOM to even higher heights. I thank you.
Thank you very much, my dear friend Vaughan. Of course, his commitment, and I know that, there's a lot of signal achievement under his chairmanship. And of course, I know throughout the course of this week, we will, reflect on some of those moments. But nonetheless, we are grateful for, what CROSQ has become and what we will continue to do in ensuring that we promote the quality infrastructure in our region. Okay, so we are moving nicely along. At this moment, we're going to invite Mr. Sebastian Vogel. He's the project manager for the RTD Collaboration Policy and External Affairs of Standards. So I'll welcome him as he presents some remarks. Yes.
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm Sebastian Vogel from Senelec. I'm here today as representative for Senelec. I have to excuse our Director for Policy and External Affairs, who unfortunately couldn't be here due to professional reasons. But I will be here and represent Senelec as good as I can. It is a great honor to be here, and that, of course, comes with the mentions as earlier established by protocol already. But it is worth saying that this gives a lot of importance to the whole event. So first of all, it is a pleasure to be here for the 45th council meeting, but it is also a really big pleasure for us to be here and spend this one day with you to talk about the InDico-Global project and the European Standardization System. So I would like to extend the thanks to the Minister of Agriculture, who we hope to see back for lunch again, as well as the Permanent Secretary, Narissa Gottins, Chair of CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality, Mr. Emanuel, thank you for having us. Mr. Ledger, of course. I think we all have heard your name by now. Mr. Ryan, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Then, of course, all the permanent secretaries and officials of the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Yeah, and it goes through the list. I would also like to say thank you to the EU delegation, Mr. Jackman, for being here today. And then, of course, to all of the CROSQ family as we heard today, and the whole standardization community, all the experts, everyone that is involved in standardization. It's a lot of people, and I think it's important to be aware of this. I would also like to say a thank you for all the people that organized this event and the next 2 days. There's some staff involved, and I know this is a lot of effort. Yes, last but not least, there's also a thank you to say to Mr. Ryan Bradwith, the chairman of the board of directors for Barbados Standards of Institute. And I hope I didn't forget anyone, but please, thank you. So we've heard a lot of great speeches, and I can only confirm what I've heard, stepping into those feet. But some more notes maybe about CEN and CENELEC as a start with, and then of course we will hear more about it later in the workshop, but just briefly. So CEN and CENELEC are the two standardization organizations in Europe, next to ETSI, of course. Our members are the national standardization bodies of the 34 countries we represent, as well as the national committees in the IEC field. In those countries, we serve about 600 million consumers, and our standards aim for facilitating cross-border trade. So it is a very similar concept in a different setting. But we will hear more about this later. Maybe just one quick mention as well here. We will talk about this